on. Now you're on. Oh, he dropped.
You get that pop-up, and he probably clicked leave by accident instead of okay. Tim.
I clicked leave meeting.
Yes.
He's recording. I'm out of here.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. I'm back. Hey, everybody.
You do have a new case back there, Mr. Tim. Let's see. Relatively new case?
Hold on. This thing right here?
Yeah.
Is that what you mean? I'm touching it. No, I'm not really. Yeah, it's been about a couple months I've had it. Got some prototypes in there.
It's been so long since you've locked me in your basement, Tim. So
I'm sorry. I know. I got to get back on that. You got to get this other guy out of here first.
Whatever went on before stops now.
Got it. Sorry, Scott. You can't come over anymore. All right. Host, what are we talking about today?
We're going to be talking about the Star Wars TV series, Obi-Wan.
All right.
So we can go around and introduce ourselves, and you don't have to get like job specific, but say your name, say what you like, what you enjoy.
All right. Well,
long walks on sandy beaches and holding hands. And
I'll go first. Hello there. I'm Tim. Come on, I had to do it. We're talking about Obi-Wan. So I'm a teacher. I've been a teacher for X amount of years, probably 10, 12, something like that. I enjoy many nerd things. I enjoy listening to Scott slurp his tea. Let's see.
Fine, past time.
Anything nerd, I'm in. I'm all in. All right, I'm done.
Okay.
You'll learn more about me as this podcast goes on, I suppose.
My name's Steven. I am in the finance industry, and I also enjoy nerd things, but I also enjoy exercisey things. Been doing martial arts for 23 years. Most recently been doing jiu-jitsu and been loving that. You will also learn more about me as the podcast goes on.
Hi, Steve.
Hi, Tim.
Hi.
All right, Scott's done.
I'm going to be the mysterious one.
Oh, God.
I'm just kidding. Yep. So my name's Scott. I'm into software development, and we do a lot of hiking and nerd stuff.
Nerd stuff.
I do love the Stay Puffed on your shelf back there, Scotty. Which one is that? The vintage, the original?
That's the original toy from, was it 85, 86?
Yep.
80, yeah, late 80s, something like that. Very nice.
I need to magic eraser him. He's got a little bit of dirt.
I mean, it happens.
It's something that could never, ever possibly destroy us.
Never.
All right, pop quiz. What was the camp that Ray was at when he first roasted Stay Puft marshmallows over the fire?
Oh, you.
Come on, before we start, we got to get into it.
Can I Google it?
No.
I just got to know it off the cuff. Oh, God. I don't know. I don't know.
Come on.
I don't know. Tim?
We're going to need to do some editing. We said we were going to talk about Obi-Wan, and here we are.
All right.
Timmy did it.
Yeah, he did.
All right. Well, we'll give the listeners time to think about it. All right, Obi-Wan. So who most recently watched it out of the three of us?
Probably
I was definitely late to the party to watch it.
I feel like that's true.
Where I was able to watch all the episodes and didn't have to. I think I had to wait for the last part. but we binge watched the other 5.
Okay.
Because of the series that have come out for Star Wars and Disney, this was the one I was most excited for, like by a lot. And I've been loving a lot of what Disney has been doing with their series, but this one I was just super excited for. It was, I think it's just the nostalgia, and of course Vader's my favorite character, so I just want.
Dude, getting Hayden Christensen back was gold for them. I think that helped the series out a lot.
It did. I was happy that he was super into it too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. Like, and the excitement, like after episode 3, you weren't sure if we were ever going to see these characters again, because people our age pretty much panned most of the prequels. I'm sorry, the prequels. And just everybody hated how like stiff and kind of stone like Hayden Christensen was, but I loved him. I thought he was great. But yeah, when he came back as Vader, I think it was like the collective like excitement from the fan base. It was really cool.
Yeah, those prequels, I think it was a lot of poor writing versus bad acting.
That is true. That is very true.
I mean, look at the cast, right? Like, there's no way that it was poor acting skills, right?
Right. How do you make Natalie Portman run like that in the sand? It was just awful. Come on.
She had somewhere to get to.
She did, and she had to poop or something. I don't know. It was rough.
Everybody poops, Tim.
Everybody, not on screen. I shouldn't say that. There's a market for everything, I suppose. All right, back to Obi-Wan.
So as we're diving into the first episode, where they're reintroducing Mr. Obi-Wan, but also introducing some characters, some of which we got to see on the animated series, the Clone Wars and Rebels, and some of which were new. There's children running in it.
I know, they're all over the place. It's a little Leia.
So what worked for you guys for the first episode?
Seeing Obi-Wan kind of beaten, like you only ever see him like, in the prequels it was very proud Obi-Wan, and this one he's just like working for some meat company, like as a floor employee, getting yelled at by some schmuck who I really wish we saw some kind of, in that final episode. I really wish Obi-Wan would have gone back there and like freed or whatever. But hey, you know what? Obi-Wan Part 2. You never know.
I liked how he was just utterly defeated as well, like emotionally and physically crushed by what had happened, and he had never got over it. Never. It was the what he just deemed, I felt, the failure of his life, and it's just been carrying that on his back. And Ewan did a fantastic job really expressing that on screen for us.
I think my favorite part, Obi-Wan, what you guys have already said was very cool, but I thought it was really cool how they brought Princess Leia into the story, right? Where, because you don't really get that connection from either the prequels or the middle 3 movies, right? She just knows him somehow, right? And I thought that was really cool how they tied that in, and bring back Organa, all that, right? I thought that was really clever way to bring her into the story.
That was a really cool surprise, because in the trailers you saw little Luke. You're thinking, oh, cool. Well, he's going to have some adventure with Luke. I don't watch like the trailers the week or two prior to something coming out, like the new Ant-Man. I haven't seen any new trailers. They spoil too much, so I didn't know she was going to be in it at all. And then when it started to look like it was going to be a Obi-Wan and Leia adventure, all right, let's do this. And I had to look in their name. Vivian Lyra Blair killed it. as a spoiled little princess. And that's it. Her attitude lined up with the first time we see Carrie Fisher as Leia in A New Hope. I loved how the attitudes were really similar. She was just kind of doing what she wanted, doing her own thing. It was great.
Yeah, agreed. It was neat for me to see the Inquisitors too, because I think that's, other than the animated stuff, I think that's the first time we saw Inquisitors on screen.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So
I was
there was
just
a lot
going to
of cool
mention
setup.
them.
Yeah.
Like it, because you just imagine, because that they were never discussed in the original trilogy or the prequel trilogy. They were mentioned later on as, you know, the mercenaries of the Emperor kind of going out and doing his bidding in that regard. But you always assumed that it was Darth Vader going out and doing all these headhunting missions. But he's got minions too.
Where were they first mentioned? Clone Wars?
I thought it was Rebels, because that's where we see the Grand Inquisitor.
Okay.
And then we see the fifth brother's in there, so we see him on screen from his Rebels counterpart. And then let me flip through. Fifth brother. Reva was third sister.
Mm-hmm.
And then there was, oh my God, why can't I find who the other one was?
It's the second sister, right? Or no, that was the video game, Fallen Order.
Yeah, video game, it was second sister, but they also did seventh sister, I thought, in the Fallen Order as well. She was the big boss in the top of the tree fight.
Yeah. That rings a bell.
But I definitely thought that the Inquisitors were cool, where, you know, the Grand Inquisitor is very, I would say, reserved and calculating. And then we meet Reva for the first time, and she's like, yeah. Okay, we're just gonna start doing stuff now. Like she's like, got it. We got it. We're gonna do your plan 100%. I'm gonna throw a knife at this guy. Goodbye.
Now, I thought Moses Ingram, is that her name? I thought she did a great job too.
I liked the development of her character over the series, where we really get to know more and see what actually happened. I know we're skipping ahead a couple of episodes, but what the back and forth with her and Obi-Wan, like through the door, because he's reaching through and trying to read her thoughts, and she's like having all these visions. So the opening scene of, I'm gonna babble on, the opening scene of episode 1, where they take us back to the temple, like that was the opening shot as Anakin's about to rip through the temple. I thought they were going to go into depth with that. I'm like, there's no way they're going to put this on screen. Oh my God. I'm like buckling up for the ride of my life, because they didn't really cover that. And they just kind of like hinted at all the madness, and you never see Anakin in the first shot. But it was really cool piecing together Reva's story, that she was one of the younglings that's trying to run from Anakin.
Yeah, that was a great addition there.
Was any of that recorded with Revenge of the Sith, and they just unused footage, or
like the slaughter?
Yeah,
that's a good question. I don't remember seeing any deleted scenes of that.
Yeah,
I don't think so. So I mentioned to you guys a couple of times to check out the book version of Revenge of the Sith. It is incredible. But the author really dives into the character's thoughts a lot more, because he's got a whole book to be able to do it. But there was only one additional thing that he talked about when Anakin came to the temple, and it was when Anakin came to the door, because he came to the door by himself, and there's a door guard there, and he's like, oh, Anakin was looking a little rough, and he was like pale. And Anakin's just standing there, and he just says, open the door. And the temple guard's like, why? What's going on? He looks behind Anakin and he sees all the troopers. And he's like, oh my God, what's going on? And then Anakin says something and like lights his saber underneath the guy's neck. And then they go in the temple. I'm like, oh my God. So that book goes into a lot of detail with a lot of characters' thoughts that ties things together way better than the movie did, while still being a book of the movie.
Right.
I highly encourage checking that out because it was really cool.
Yeah, that sounds fun.
Yeah, but they didn't really go into any more detail about what happened at the temple. So to kind of see a couple of those flashback shots in Obi-Wan's throughout the series of that was cool.
Do they have an audiobook version read by Ewan McGregor?
Or Liam? Well, that wouldn't make sense.
Narrated by Qui-Gon Jinn.
I watched the whole thing.
Yeah, well,
not even in this movie,
right?
All right. Well, it seems like we're just kind of jumping around the episode, so I'm going to fast forward to the final episode. The two cameo. Am I going? There we are. The two cameos that popped up at the end. So clearly, if somebody's watching or listening to this, they've seen it, I would hope. So I'm not spoiling anything. Ian McDermott as the Emperor. And then, of course, Qui-Gon, which we've been hinted towards throughout the whole freaking series. And he comes in like the last 30 seconds. Okay, mixed feelings. I would have loved to see him on there more. I think maybe we could have saw him kind of in the middle of the series, or maybe just hear him in the middle of the series. But yeah, having him involved was really, really good. And apparently Liam Neeson like jumped on that opportunity when it popped up.
You never know. He could have been like Harrison Ford and be like, yeah, I'll appear, but it'll be $1 million a minute or something, right? So they had to put him in the end.
Exactly. Liam probably made a little bit of money on that.
Yeah, for sure.
I think it worked, though, only having him in for that portion, because Obi-Wan had become so disconnected from the Force. Like that was the whole thing with like seeing him in that first episode as just a beaten man. Right. Like mentally and emotionally. Or I'm sorry, yeah, mentally, emotionally, physically, he's just beaten. He had no connection to the Force, could barely use Force powers at all, and had no connection to Qui-Gon. So I think that reconnection that we saw in later episodes allowed him to see his former master, as Yoda hinted that he would be able to do at the end of episode 3.
Right.
Teach you to commune with him.
So was he? Oh, there you go. Was he just talking to thin air that entire time? What is it? 8-10 years? Was he trying? Was he not succeeding? Was Qui-Gon like, you got to try harder, big guy?
I feel like they hinted when Qui-Gon spoke. He's like, I've always been here.
Huh.
So that to me heavily implies that he heard him the whole time, but Obi-Wan was unable to make that connection.
Right.
Qui-Gon just says, I can see and hear everything. I don't know what your deal is, dude.
I saw what you did in that dark part of the cave too. It's okay. We all did.
We're all human, Obi-Wan. You've been alone for a long time. Tim's driving at the core questions now.
What happened off screen?
Quite a lot.
Oh man.
Everybody poops.
That's true. They do. And the way you guys are drinking your coffee, it's gonna be sooner than later.
Pause.
Okay, so I just learned about this while I was doing a little digging before we started recording this. So I was under the impression James Earl Jones recorded new dialogue for this series. He didn't. He gave his permission to use his voice, to use stuff that was previously recorded, either in movies or games or whatever, but everything James Earl Jones or Darth Vader was pieced together somehow else. Like it was like this new company in I forget where the company was. It's like the startup company that ended up doing his voice for Disney and Star Wars, and it sounded flawless. I couldn't tell. I thought they got James Earl Jones back to do the voice this one final time.
That's really cool. So they used some kind of like AI or old recordings and kind of pieced everything together to make his voice.
Yeah. Okay. The vocal tracks were created by Respeecher, a startup company based in the Ukraine. So apparently they were still working on the project even after Russia started their invasion. Like they're like, no, just lock the door. We got this. So that's
Yeah.
It
pretty
says
wild.
James Earl Jones's voice is used for Darth Vader, as with previous Star Wars media, but his lines in the series were generated by an AI program called Respeecher, which was also used for Luke Skywalker in the Book of Boba Fett, based on the recordings of Jones from the films.
Interesting.
So that's awesome.
So I knew he had retired from acting, but I figured maybe they'd grab him up for some, just sitting in his chair and doing some Darth Vader work. But I guess he's really completely done. Like I guess what anybody see Coming to America 2 or Coming to America? Don't. But he's in it. Like James Earl Jones pretty much just sits in a bed and talks and does his lines, and he looked rough there. Like I was kind of wondering, like, man, are we ever going to see him on screen again? But I think that might have been his final on-screen appearance, was Coming to America. I got to do that because it's in the title too.
He gave us
yeah.
a lot, so that was
He did.
He did reprise Vader for Rebels, which was
Yes, absolutely. So I didn't make it through that entire series. I watched the first episode, or I'm sorry, the first season, and then I kind of picked up little pieces here and there. But it was a really good show. They did a really great job on that.
yes,
He
especially
was
if you
in
watch.
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, please.
No,
Scott, what do you have to
Well,
say?
I was on mute for quite a while and I didn't know it. That,
Scott,
That was
so we have to
amazing.
back up and we have to do like the last 5 minutes again.
gotcha.
So,
We'll delete all
All right.
this, and we'll dub it with
Yeah.
your tracks.
Good
Yeah,
thing he's recording
exactly.
sepalee.
I'll use Respeecher and reclone what I want to say.
We don't even need you next week.
We'll
Yeah.
re-feature for Scott.
We've got enough dialogue now that we can recreate him.
We can make
We
him
can
better,
rebuild him.
stronger, faster.
And we can
Especially
make him say
faster.
whatever we want.
We could definitely make him faster.
Well, if he'd be on time, let's do it.
It's a big if, Tim.
Yeah, it is. It's a big ask.
Yeah.
All right. So
well,
what 10 minutes ago, what'd you say?
Oh, just that James Earl Jones was also he appeared in a couple of Big Bang Theories as well. I don't remember
Yes.
which was last though, Coming to America or the Big Bang Theories.
Yes, he did, dude. That episode of him and Sheldon hanging out during the day makes me laugh out loud. Not many sitcoms can do that. Having Carrie Fisher as a guest star in that episode too.
When they go and get Carrie Fisher at the end.
Right? It's not funny anymore, James. Oh man, that was good stuff. All right. So covered James Earl Jones. Let's see.
Yeah. I wonder if we shouldn't like queue up clips in here or something like that so that we can. I know
Yeah.
we're recording, but I'm getting more into the details. But maybe we
Yeah.
should be picking out a few clips from these episodes on YouTube or
Are we
something.
allowed to do that?
As long as you are, that's why I'm saying we pull out clips, right? As long as you just use like short clips and you're more talking than watching, if you know what I mean, like more of us talking about it and a critical review, then it's covered under fair use, right? Where so we can take like a minute or 2 minute clips from one of the episodes and then talk about it. you have to be talking more than the clip, though, right? So if we watch a 5-minute clip, we better be reacting to it for at least like
I was
10
gonna say
minutes.
we can talk over it too.
Oh yeah.
Like
And we can
Science
pull up
Theater.
picks too. So so then here will be the idea, because we got a minute left, and then we can reboot and do another 40 minutes. So
I was gonna ask if anybody saw the countdown clock, or is it just me? Okay.
I see the countdown clock. So let's do this. We will break for 5 minutes in between. Pull
For
up
our
a clip.
sponsor.
Pull up a clip or a picture from the first episode that you want to talk about, and then we'll share screen and we'll each discuss what we found. Sound cool?
This will be fun. Yes.
So make sure that you
Scott,
enable.
this is from
screen sharing.
Obi-Wan series, episode 1. I don't want to see any more bears.
Or Big Bang Theory.
All right,
So
we'll
just make sure
we'll
that you enable screen sharing when you set up the meeting for the rest of us. It's disabled by default.
Roger
And
that.
break.
All right.
Yep.
5 minutes.
All right.
All right.
Coffee.
See you in a minute. Leave meeting. Got it.
Stop it. All right, so
Nice.
I guess I'll go first.
Yeah, we all had our homework. Let's see.
We did all have our homework.
There's a collection of clips. It's about 6 minutes long. That was like one of the first results from episode 1. We want to give it a shot. At 6 minutes, it has like the highlights from the episode.
Or we
All
could
right. Did you
completely
start
go. We could go rogue, and we'll do Scott's thing. That's fine.
No, it's not rogue.
Did you start it so
But-
we won't get the ads?
I
don't
use
have
an ad
sponsors yet.
blocker. I use an ad
Oh.
blocker, so I don't see them.
Dig you. Even on YouTube? That's pretty cool.
Yes. Brave web browser. This podcast brought to you by Brave web browser. Block those ads by default.
Block them. All right, Scott, hit it.
All right, let me see. Let me put
Make
it
it
up on
so.
my other
Wrong one.
screen.
Wrong series.
Wrong
Series.
franchise, idiot.
Damn it.
So let me share my
Ah, here we go. Ah, the meat cutting plant.
Got to save a little bit for the trusty steed.
So, did we ever find out what kind of meat this was?
Bantha, I imagine.
Take it all. Keep moving.
There's the guy. You can see the hate in his eyes.
He's just beaten. Ewan is so good.
Yeah. All right. So remember how goofy it was in the end of episode 3 to see him riding in on that thing? And now we're like falling in love with it.
You're late. Do you
must
have
not
it?
have used Scott's soap.
I'll give you 50. Yes, I had some parts stolen. I need a new processor board. If you're going to steal my parts and then sell them back to me, could you at least clean them first, as a courtesy? A Jedi. Oh, don't count on it. I've heard the Jedi are all but extinct. Yeah.
Isn't
Well,
it
thank
also
you, Tim.
interesting that of all the planets in all the systems, like a Jedi comes to the exact place that Obi-Wan is?
Jawas have their ways. Maybe he got it from some other planet.
mean, who didn't get all the feels seeing Luke?
Right. All right. A little creepy. A little creepy. Where's the hand going?
You're making some kind of mistake.
I'm sorry, my name is Nari. There's no mistake.
You're looking for somebody else.
What are you doing here, Obi-Wan?
My name is Ben.
Come on, please.
You must leave. You'll draw too much attention.
But I have nowhere to go. They're hunting me.
Walk into the middle of the desert and bury it in the ground. Stay hidden. Live a normal life. The fight is done. We lost. The time of the Jedi is over. Go back to the town.
This is the scene that I wanted to bring up.
Obi-Wan?
Your farm,
Yeah.
Owen.
Yep.
He needs to see that
Yeah.
there's a whole galaxy out there.
For sure.
It's my responsibility, Owen.
Well, I'm his uncle.
We talked about this. When the time comes, he must be trained.
Like you trained his father?
That part right there.
I'm glad they
Save his
didn't
phone.
edit that differently for the actual show. Like what we saw in the trailer was what they actually put there. I was very happy about that because that was a pivotal moment. You could see it in his eyes.
As soon as he said that, Obi-Wan was visibly crushed even further.
Yep.
Like that is the whole source of his mental state,
Mhm.
is what happened to Anakin.
Yeah.
Like you trained his father. Oh, you bastard.
And we get to see a grumpy Uncle Owen, which is exactly perfect.
Yes. Very antagonistic. Like he doesn't want Obi-Wan there at all. Like
I mean,
not
look at the
as,
screenshot face right there. He's not
Oh,
happy
he's-
about anything.
well, he maybe he smells something. I think, but he definitely doesn't want Obi-Wan there at all. He wants him far away from Luke because he
Mhm.
knows what it means if Luke ends up being a Jedi. That's not a normal kind of life.
Mhm.
Go
Right.
ahead, Scott.
Yeah. I will go.
Engage.
Thank you, Owen. What about the Senate?
We cannot let this become public. If Leia is
I
discovered...
can't leave here, Bale. My duty is to the boy.
What about your duty to his sister?
I'm not who I used to be. Find someone else. She'll be better off. You should not have come.
They hid their signature behind a freight transport. The ship is on its way there now.
I can't.
She's my daughter, Obi-Wan.
I told you. I can't leave the boy.
This isn't about the boy, and you know it. You've made mistakes. We all did.
Here we go. All right, I think you can hit it because he's just going to hop on a plane.
Yeah.
So I definitely wanted to talk about Owen
Mhm.
and their relationship and just that line that he delivers, like he trained his father, and just like watching the absolute soul crushing reaction on Obi-Wan's face,
Mhm.
just a constant reminder of his failure in his mind. And we got to see the lightsabers that he kept.
Yes. Yes. Yeah, that was written perfectly. Like, how long had he had that in his head? Next time he saw Obi-Wan, just walking around Mos Eisley or wherever. So good, so good.
Yeah, I mean, in episode 4, right, you kind of get the impression that they've met, right? But you don't really get to see when. In any of the prequels, does Obi-Wan actually meet Uncle
Yeah,
Owen?
he dropped off Luke
At the end, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So there was
Okay.
some
Fair
kind
enough.
of relationship there. So they had to reach out beforehand. Obviously, Obi-Wan didn't just show up on
With a
Tatooine. It's
couple
like,
of kids.
here you go, and Beru's
Hey.
like, oh, thank you.
It's an incredible gift. It sure is. I'm not going to help out with this in any way. I'll be viewing him from binoculars from behind that mountain over there.
And
Good day.
Stemming a little more hate towards Obi-Wan there. Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you can definitely tell. I wonder if that meat on the table, it looks a lot like tuna. And
It did.
I
It did.
I know it's supposed to be from some Star Wars creature, but it looked like tuna to me. Delicious.
Hey, it could have been. How did he not get caught? Every day he's taking a chunk. How did he not get caught?
They didn't really
Or
feel
using
up the
force.
prisoners as they were letting them go out of the plant.
I wouldn't either. Did you see him? They don't use Scott's soap, I'm sure.
Very unsexy Obi-Wan leaves the plant. You sure you don't want to frisk me? No.
That was a bold blue shirt for Tatooine, though. I would say we don't usually see blue like that.
It's true. Usually it's very like sand colored, right?
Mhm.
And everything's
It
kind
worked.
of toned down and
It's coarse and rough. It gets
It
everywhere.
gets everywhere.
gets everywhere.
Hey, Scott got it. So we didn't get to see her, but Bail Organa's wife. Can we just talk about her for a hot second? Gracious. He did okay for himself.
Okay.
Good for him.
All right.
Good for him. Good for him.
Timmy's like,
I'm
you know who
done.
I love in the Star Wars universe? Bail Organa's wife.
Hey, find a clip of her.
Wow. Okay.
Hey, you can move on if you want.
That's staying in. I think we'll have some awkward silence for
Yeah, we can
for you.
we can dive right in. Timmy is beat red after mentioning that. He's just like, yeah.
Wasn't awkward here at all. No, what are you guys talking about?
Well,
right,
I mean,
fine.
at least you didn't say like C3PO or something.
Next week.
Next
Yeah,
week.
we'll save that little reveal. So you want to get to know the three of us more? Let me tell you.
Oh my.
Oh my goodness gracious!
C3PO got the red leg. I was just ready for dinner. Yeah.
Yes, he did. He certainly did.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of cool stuff in episode 1. In my mind, it does a good job of setting things up, right? You know, the Princess Leia connection we talked about earlier. Just how they bring those two together. Very cool. In my mind, though, it's a good setup, but it's kind of one of the weaker episodes in this series, just because it was a good setup, but there wasn't a lot going on. You just see this broken guy for 35 minutes, and and he ends up doing something reluctantly.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's was so important, right?
Yeah.
Is to show how beaten he really was. That he's absolutely not the hero that we saw in the prequels, in the Clone Wars series. He's not that guy. Like, he was destroyed after episode 3. Just absolutely destroyed.
Yeah, I mean, it's just brutal. Just,
Yes, the guy who you trained and has become like a brother to you is now a mass murdering savage who you had to maim. But he thought he killed him too. Like, so he doesn't, at this point, he does not know that Anakin is Vader.
that's
Right.
true.
So he's beaten more that he thought he had to kill him. And then when he finds out he's an even worse monster, he's like, oh my God, what I did to him did not beat him, and now he is just a living horror.
Yeah, it'll teach you. Make sure they're dead.
No, you just take his lightsaber and assume it all went to plan. Like, he's got one robotic arm and no other limbs. And he caught on fire in front of me.
I mean,
Whoo. Thought we put a stick in
it's
that.
probably. I mean, most
This guy's done. He's cooked very well.
but yet somehow he survives. Yeah. Definitely, in my mind, cooler episodes to come, right?
Mhm.
I actually really enjoyed anyway, more later. We'll get to those other episodes, but
Flea as the kidnapper. That was pretty cool.
oh yeah,
That was a nice little surprise.
he's had a lot of like relatively small parts and a lot of stuff. Like
Mhm.
he was
Back to the Future Part 2.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
Nobody calls me chicken. Nobody.
All right. He was also in what was it called? The Getaway with Charlie Sheen and Christy Swanson. Do you remember that?
Oh my.
Anybody remember that?
1993?
Stop it. You don't know, do you?
1993? Now you got us looking up The Getaway.
Yeah, please look that up.
Let's come to a screeching halt on Obi-Wan. We're going to talk now exclusively about the movie The Getaway.
Oh, we'll talk a little bit about Flea, I guess. I think it was called The
in
Getaway.
Big
I'm
Lebowski,
sorry,
too.
1994. I was
Come on.
1 year off.
Cancel the podcast.
Yeah.
No,
This
hold
is
on. That's
over.
not The Getaway.
What's it called?
That's Alec Baldwin and Kim Basinger in 1994. Hang
That's a
tight.
good movie.
The Chase, right?
Yes.
Come on, guys. Get it
Damn
together.
it, Tim.
We can talk about Kim
Yeah.
Basinger if you want. Mail Organa's wife and Kim Basinger. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, The Chase. So 1994. So I'm still a
So-
year off.
They were both 94.
They were both 94. Henry Rollins is in The Chase too. Why do we have us talking about The Chase? Blasted Jesus, Tim. Your love of Christy Swanson knows no bounds. I swear to God.
That's not a thing. That's not a thing.
If it's not Bail Organa's wife, it's Christy Swanson.
No, Kim
Just
Basinger. Haven't you been
nonstop.
listening? I met Christy Swanson. She's a lovely lady.
Yeah?
That's my story. That's all I got.
Okay.
All right.
I see.
I met Christy Swanson. She smells nice. Let's go back to
Yeah.
Obi-Wan.
No, you know who smells nice?
I do.
Got your brother and Kate Beckinsale.
Yes.
My goodness.
Yes.
Met her at a convention. That's the first thing I thought of. She smelled wonderful.
Oh, did you let her know that?
Nope. Did not want to be arrested.
I kept the quiet parts in here.
No, I did not.
I didn't
No,
want to
that
say the
was-
quiet part loud.
Harry specifically told me not to get arrested when I met Kate Beckinsale. So I didn't say anything.
It's nice to meet you. What was your name?
There's nothing I could say. Nothing. If I opened my mouth, it would have been bad. Nope.
I love you. I think you're wonderful and you smell really nice. Shit. I said the quiet part loud.
Don't.
We're gonna have to edit this video.
What? No. Keep it in post.
We'll just have to have a little bit more in the title of the video. Obi-Wan TV series episode 1 / The Chase / Kate Beckinsale /
Bail
Christy
Organa's
Swanson.
wife.
/ Timmy getting arrested. Although, you know what I do want to bring in from our pilot episode? We have to have, you have to be attacked by some sort of farm animal every single day in every episode. It can be like the running joke.
I got nothing right now.
As Oscar comes barreling down the stairs. Oh,
Son of a bitch.
I'm guessing you don't let the emus inside.
Not anymore.
No, they're 6 feet tall.
I know, but it'd be hilarious.
Grown man staring Timmy in the face.
Nope. No emus in the house.
Is that more of a guideline or is that a rule?
I mean, if you want to break the rule, that's fine. It's okay.
Do you have a leash for your emus? Take them for a walk.
No, we thought about doing something like that, but I think they'd just flip out. We didn't train them while they were young.
They just flip out. What are you doing to me? You see him? You see he's oppressing me? Do you see him? I just imagine you just hop on one of their backs and just ride them wherever you want to go.
If they were bigger and I was smaller, it would be a thing.
Was that Leonard Part 6?
That
The
is
Oxford?
Leonard Part 6.
What was it? It was Swiss Family Robinson, right? You rode ostriches on the beach or something like that.
We're going to put a lot of slashes in the title of this video.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fine, we can keep talking about Kate Beckinsale.
All right.
Let's throw Spaceballs in too.
Don't
Just
threaten me with a good time.
There goes the planet. All right, so we have derailed. How are we feeling about today's episode?
I think
feel
if we
fine.
mix and match parts from the first recording and to the second one, we can actually create a pretty comprehensive episode with a little editing.
Why
I
does
think this is
Timmy
good.
keep flipping back and forth between inside and outside?
Oh no, not the one we did earlier today.
Oh,
The first one. Like take some of the discussion points that we had around episode 1 before we watched the clip, because there was some good stuff in there that I think was relevant, and we can edit that together, and maybe cut some of the unrelevant stuff for now. We can save it for a future recording, right? But
that's true.
that would be my suggestion, because I think there was some good insights in the first one. There just wasn't anything to look at, right? And
Mhm.
I think once we added something to look at, then we could probably paste in some different details from that first recording.
I definitely like adding things to look at. I mean, we are beautiful creatures, but I think some pictures or clips from the episode is nice, because that'll really jog our memory too, and get us talking a little bit more. So we can definitely add in more of that. I feel
Okay.
like I really do enjoy the off the cuff stuff. Like, I want this to be authentic and real. And if we get derailed, we're human beings. We're gonna
No, I
get
enjoyed
a
that.
little distracted from time to time.
How have
And
you never made that face for me before?
this does so many things. It's all pliable. But I think keeping that stuff I feel like that's good. I feel as though it really adds to it and just showcases our personalities and doesn't just make it all about business. We're just here to talk about Obi-Wan. Tim, shut up about Kate Beckinsale. God damn it.
All right, so I'm going to close this out. I'm going to share my screen and we can talk about this quick clip. All right, hold on. Are you ready?
Oh, God.
Are you ready? You ready?
Is it a bear?
It is a bear.
Are you
Oh,
guys
this
getting
part,
this?
I love this. Your audio is not coming through.
You have
You
to, when
gotta
you
click
share
the
your
share
screen, you
audio.
have to share audio.
Hold on. We'll start over.
Tim, we're missing the whole thing. You're going to have to reshare your screen and put it in.
Oh my God. Stop share. All right. So
There'll be a checkbox to share the audio, but when
I
the audio
gotcha.
is playing, you won't be able to talk while the audio is playing.
All right. I'm gonna. There
You're
you
gonna
go.
what?
Can you hear me? Can you hear me now?
Yes.
This isn't my world. I don't know what I'm doing. All right. So to close us out, I think I'm going to share my screen. I won't be able to talk. I just found that out. But you guys can enjoy this clip of something that we talked about a little while ago. Hold on.
Holding for Tim.
I don't understand what we're doing. Whose house is this?
Carrie Fisher. And she's a little crazy, so get ready to run.
He just ran off.
It's not funny anymore, James.
Then why am I laughing?
And why am I
Oh
laughing?
my gosh. Good stuff. Good stuff.
I love that show too.
R.I.P. Carrie Fisher. And
Yeah.
on that note, James Earl Jones just had a birthday. Like the other day,
How
right?
old is he now?
Man, it's got to be in his 90s. Hold on. The man is 92. As
Oh,
of
wow.
January 17th. And he's still with us. So we should dedicate this episode to James Earl Jones. Raise your
Very well.
glasses. Raise them up. Okay, I'll do it. You thank you. It's too late. We already did it.
Yeah, Scott, we're done.
All right, this was a good time, fellas.
Okay.
Indeed. All right.
Are we all going to be on board for next week, Scott?
Should be.
I think he's selling Girl Scout cookies next week, isn't he?
No, I'm camping, but it's not until the evening.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Or winter camping. So that'll be cold.
Mom and Dad will be down here next week,
Yeah,
Oh,
I
cool.
heard. Yeah, that's awesome.
so that'll be fun.
So their house will be ripe for pillaging while they're there.
Yes,
Good.
Tim, you can pillage away.
I'm going to be late. Okay.
Coming to you live from your guys' parents' house.
Look,
What?
I'm in Delaware.
Hi, I'm
There's
in
our-
Delaware.
There's our running gag right there.
Yeah, Wayne's
All right,
World.
so episode 2 next week. We'll plan on some more Saturday morning action.
Yeah. Let's text back and forth, figure out what we're going to talk about.
Okay,
Yep.
I'm
So we
definitely
don't have
liking.
to do all of the Obi-Wans in a row either, right? We can record a bunch of other stuff and alternate.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, let's hit something else next week.
Okay. All right, gentlemen. I'm probably going to take a little bit of time to edit,
Our fans will be waiting patiently.
but not too much. And then we can text more about this, and we don't have to talk about it on the live air. But I'm just feeling we just do a YouTube channel and just have the podcast go on a YouTube channel. We can put it on the other venues as well, since we have the audio recorded.
Mhm.
But I'm feeling the YouTube is what I'm feeling.
Okay.
Gotta
I'm in.
start somewhere.
Exactly. So that's just what we'll do.
Okay.
And because there's 3 of us, we can always say the plural of fans. We don't have to ever say fan.
There he goes with that English stuff.
Yeah, it's good. Yeah, it's like we can always use the plural to our many fans.
There we go.
Our three. How come we only have 3 subscribers? Because I could only create 3 accounts.
All right, very
cool.
cool.
All right, guys.
Yep. Talk
Enjoy
later.
the rest of your Saturday.
You too.
You too.
All right,
Bye.
safe fellas.
Bye.